And look at this. Look at this. We're actually demolishing this Mechanist. Look at that. Ritualist top DPS and Ritualist doing 20k DPS as a healer. And we give quickness. 17.2k DPS. 12k healing per second. Okay. We've got to get down to business. We're going to go over this build right now. All of you are going to get a rare insight into the process, the factory, how the sausage is made, as it were. Now, as I'm sure many of you guys are aware, I am a really big fan of hybrid builds. You know, I'm known for my Plague Doctor Scourge, the Celestial Scourge, all that sort of thing. And you might think that's kind of hard to do with Ritualist, because Ritualist, of course, is very power-oriented. But it actually turns out that it's so strong, and it's got a really robust toolkit, that it is possible to make something rather exciting using a technology that is illegal. I don't want to see this repeated anywhere, guys. Like, you cannot tell anyone about this. This needs to remain a secret. And you know what? I figured that I've got all this Ascended gear lying around. It would actually be funny to commit to gearing this Ascended on the Zero to Hero character. I'm going to get a new build template for it. I'm actually going to buy gems. Okay. Look at this. We're going to go for an equipment template just for this. Here we go. We've got the 100 gems. I'm buying an equipment template. There we go. It is now enabled. We can copy this over as well. And let's talk about it. What build are we going to be concocting here? So let's go to our build template and let's put it all together. So obviously we're going to be playing a Ritualist, and we want to play a hybrid, so it's going to be blood, and we want to at least do some damage still. So we're going to take Soul Reaping, and this means we also get good cooldown reduction on the Shroud abilities. So Soul Reaping is going to look normal. We're just going to take all of the stuff that makes you do big damage, and some free vulnerability is always fun. Blood Magic, we're going to take, we'll leave this one unpicked for now, actually. Other than that, we'll just kind of take the basic support core. We obviously want Transfusion. We obviously want Life from Death to have a healing modifier and just healing when we leave Shroud. And obviously Transfusion just enables a lot of the heal necro builds using Staff these days and has a lot of boon access, right? Like all that kind of good stuff and healing access. And then in Ritualist, again, very similar. We want to give quickness and boons. So Empowering Spirits is going to be incredibly good for that. Lingering Spirits is amazing because it's going to give us more damage and more healing with Lingering Spirits, right? So we get 15% damage for having our Anguish Spirit up, movement speed from Wanderlust, and 20% healing basically all the time because of having our Preservation up there too. And then here, I actually think you can have a couple of options. If you want to heal a little bit more, then you can go for Spirit's Gift. I'll play that now. Let's get some big healing going on. But I actually think it's completely fine to go for Explosive Growth as well and just do more damage as well, because you're going to heal a lot with this build. To honestly, it might even be overkill, so you don't necessarily need the extra healing. I think it's completely fine to go with Explosive Growth too. And then utility skills. These are actually going to be very, very straightforward. It's going to look pretty similar to the DPS Ritualist. So we can go with Resilient Weapon for an incredibly strong AoE heal. And then we're going to pick two abilities that just do damage. So we're going to pick Splinter Weapon and Nightmare Weapon. This is a double bonus though, guys, because it's obviously going to give Lifesteal too. So this is a heal skill and a really strong damage skill. Splinter Weapon, just pure offense, pure DPS, crazy strong ability. The last two skills are a bit flexible. I think the default that I would go with is a really nice defensive tool, essentially giving Aegis to your allies with Weapon of Warding. And it's always nice to have a stun break, in my opinion, for PvE, especially in the open world. And then the elite skill, I will go with the Flesh Golem for now. But if you don't need the CC for whatever reason, you could go with Zinre's Weapon as well for another stun break. And of course, a little bit more defensive and support potential there as well. These are both good options. So if you really like this and you don't really need the CC, you can go with Zinre's Weapon. Flesh Golem, though, I think is such a fantastic control tool that is always really worth having. And very similarly, with Weapon of Warding, if you don't necessarily need that stun break or don't necessarily need the block, you can get more CC with Spectral Grasp. Condi Cleanse with Weapon of Remedy, of course, Projectile Block in combination with your Shroud Projectile Block. You can get Corrosive Poison Cloud. You want to do a bit more damage, you can go Signet of Spite, very similar to the DPS build. You could take a Res with Signet of Undeath. I mean, look, you guys know what the Necromancer abilities do. They're pretty good, and you can take them relatively easily. So now we do have to talk about the gear, because the gear is, in my opinion, the incredibly spicy part. We are actually going to be playing a blast from the past. You used to play a build like this, Fresh Air. You used to play like Heal Fresh Air Tempest. Really cool build back in HOT. And it's going to be Zealot gear because we have power and precision, but there's no like Celestial for power really. Like it doesn't really exist. There's no way to get boon duration on it, but we don't need boon duration that much. And I'll kind of explain why here, because we already have a bunch of extra boon duration here from Boon of Creation, and we're going to get some gear going here in a moment that will fix this. Because what we're actually going to do, we're going to use firework runes, okay, is actually going to be the approach here, because these give 25% boon duration and power at the same time. So that's where we're getting our boon duration. It's because we already have 12% from being a Ritualist, and then we're going to have another 25% from this. And we actually don't need any more than that for our purposes. Obviously, if you were a full healer, you'd like to go up all the way to 100%, but we don't need to do that. And of course, we can start to get our weapons actually set up here as well. I better get a move on here, so we can just take this. Obviously, we're going to want to start off with the staff, so we can get the natural spire here, and we can just go ahead and pick Zealot. And as you might expect, very basic here. We still want to get critical strike cap, so we're going to want to go with well, we're actually never mind. We don't need an accuracy sigil. We want to go transference and force. So double modifier, healing, and power. So we basically have the best of both worlds here. We're getting a bunch of healing out of this and more damage. And yeah, the relic is how we're going to get our crit cap, because we do need to get critical strike chance from somewhere, and that is where the relic of Mistburn is going to kick in. So this is a really cool relic. It says when you give might to yourself, grant yourself additional might, and while you're above the stack threshold, you get 10% crit as well thrown in for free. So that means not only we can buff ourselves, which is a nice bonus, right? If you're in a solo situation, we're going to have like infinite might basically, which is always kind of nice. But it means we're also going to get another 10% critical strike chance. So we can get up to that 100% crit cap that we want. Okay, now we actually have to find some armor chests. This actually might be easier said than done. Okay, this is why having full legendary is good. This is impossible. This can't be done. This is too challenging for me, guys. Okay, like this is where I draw the line. I give up. This is too challenging. I'm just gonna do this. Boom, there's the chest. We can get the gloves and get the legs, and then I'll just buy another one. Okay, we can just buy another one from the vault, because I have some wizard coins. I have wizard coins, guys. Look, you need to believe, guys, this is going to be a very big payoff. This is going to be a big payoff, guys. I'm telling you, this is where things are going to get interesting. Because now we get these fireworks relics on. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Very nice, very nice. There we, look at that, 37% boon duration, relic of Mistburn, so we're going to have 100% crit chance. And look at the healing, 1.1k healing power. And that's without the blood magic stuff starting to kick in. Now, we have a couple of decisions to make from here. Now, you can actually go ahead and play Spear with this, just like you would normally, right? So we could play this and then just do the exact same thing and get a Transference Sigil and a Force Sigil. And this will be completely fine. This is completely okay. So we put the Transference Sigil on, and the Force Sigil. And you can play like this, and this is like very similar to how the DPS build will work. However, excuse me. And then if you played like this, you go ahead and take Well of Blood. So you have a bit of revive power, right? So you can go ahead and do this, and you can go around rezzing people up very effectively like that. But there is actually a slightly different approach that you can go. You can be very flexible with the weapon. So if we discard this, what you can actually do, and we're going to commit this dagger to it, you can play dagger main hand, right? Because the problem with spear here is that we actually don't have a crazy amount of healing when you're on the spear, right? You're going to have a lot of self-sustain and damage, but not necessarily healing to your allies. But if we slap the dagger on, and then we take overflowing thirst instead of the res, all of a sudden, we now actually have the tools to do a good chunk of healing on this set as well. Now, this is a DPS loss. I think it does like a fair bit, a little bit less damage. Not much, by the way. I think playing dagger over spear is in like a 1k DPS loss or something like that, so it's not that significant, but it is a DPS loss. But you do get more healing. And both styles are completely valid, by the way. Like, if you want to go a bit more healing, then you can go for the dagger. If you want to go for a bit more damage, then you can go for the spear. And that's completely fine. And if you really wanted to, you could obviously play Greatsword as well. Now, for the offhand here, again, we have choices. If you want to go all in on healing, you can go for Warhorn. That's got a little bit more healing on it, and it's got some swiftness application, which is pretty nice. But if you want to do a bit more damage and stay a bit more DPS competitive with the sword, with the spear, then you can go for the sword offhand, which is what I'm going to go for now. So I'm going to get the sword offhand, and look at this. Look at this. Look at this beast. We have now basically fully created this build, guys. And I don't know what to tell you. It's a masterpiece. I love this. This is incredibly high tier. Look at this. I mean, look at this. Look at the character that we've created here. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's amazing. Because now we have the ability to heal like crazy when we're on the staff, and we can do a bunch of damage when we're on our dagger sword set and still heal people a little bit with taste for blood. And all the time we're gonna have our spirits going crazy with all of the healing modifiers. We can nightmare weapon to heal people. We can weapon of warding to heal people. And because Ritualist is so broken, this build actually still does over 20k DPS while delivering all of this value. I think Green was messing around with it on the Golem, and with food, specifically using a food that gives you power, ferocity, and outgoing healing, it actually does about 22, 23k DPS, and that was like very rough testing. I'm sure you could obviously get more than that. And that is really not bad for a build that heals this much, because bear in mind, like, we're getting very heavily carried by the spirits and our weapon spells, doing a lot of the damage there, and a lot of our weapon choices and even trait choices are leaning very defensive, right? We have a lot of support that we can bring to the table, right? We can give stability with our Reaper's Mark, and of course, Innovate Preservation, which gives Aegis resistance and stability. So 2 sources of stability there. A bunch of CC, with, of course, Wanderlust is applying a bunch of CC. We can fear stuff. Flesh Golem can CC. We could take Spectral Grasp as well. You give loads of boons. 25 Might, Protection, Fury, obviously, right? Like Regeneration, Vigor. Right, all the good stuff that you want to give is basically packaged into this build. It is, I think, a really good build for just kind of carrying people. And of course, you're unkillable as well. Like, you've got Shroud to tank a bunch of damage, and loads of lifesteal all over the place. Like, Life Siphon is going to heal you a whole bunch. You can heal yourself with Staff, obviously. Your heal skill is insane now. Look at Resilient Weapon. It heals for 1.6k a second for 6 seconds. And of course, that goes on allies for half the duration too. And it gives damage reduction. Nightmare Weapon's gonna give you self-healing. You're gonna self-heal with Vampiric too. I mean, goodness me, this build is big. And again, if you wanted a bit more healing, you could go with Spirit's Gift. As you can see here, every time we summon something, that's gonna be a very strong heal now. 1.6k, but that's of course modified by our healing modifiers to be like over 2k. So you're gonna heal a lot in a moment. But yeah, here we go. This is the hybrid build, guys, for the hybrid build for Ritualist, okay, with a stat combo that you might not necessarily expect. I actually want to get the food. I want to craft the food. Wait, I guess I have to unlock the recipe. Like, I bet nobody has crafted this food before, guys. Oh, look at that. Look at this random food. 10% outgoing healing, 100 power, and 70 ferocity. That is what I'm talking about. There we go. There we go. Look at that. We've got the power. Ignore the ferocity. Don't look at that. We got 70. That's enough. We don't need any more. That's all we need, guys. That's all we need. We have the fireworks rune for boon duration. 37% boon duration. Transference and force sigils on the weapons. This is fantastic stuff, guys. This is absolutely fantastic stuff. And then we have all of this healing. And we have 100% crit from the Mistburn relic. I mean, this is... It's the perfect build, guys. It's literally the perfect build. And now we will go and dominate open world metas with this. I don't need ferocity. You guys are going to see the meters and you're going to go, wow, Teapot, you don't need ferocity. All right, here we go. Here we go. I've actually never attempted to play this. Honestly, how bad can it be? All right, let's do it. And look at this. Look at this. We're actually demolishing this mechanist. I mean, look at the mech. Look at the mech. The mech is just getting destroyed right now. And then you pretty much play this exactly as you would DPS. You just kind of go for the standard cycle, use Anguish twice, and then drop out. That kind of gives you like the optimal usages on all of that. And then just rotate through your weapon skills as much as possible. And then as soon as Shroud is up again, you just go in. I think this is going to show a lot better on Hammerheart meta, because then there's actual damage. There's like no damage on this map. Like nobody's taking any DPS. But yeah, as you can see, we're crit capped. Look, 107% crit, which is slightly over crit capped. Mistburn Relic is activating. Okay, we're going to get a clean burst. Watch this. Here we go, here we go, here we go. This is where things are going to get spicy. And here we go. Now we're connecting. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this hybrid DPS. This is fat hybrid DPS. Another set. But look, I'm not even joking. I do think this is actually currently one of the builds that has the highest carry potential in open world right now. It has extreme carry potential because it has such a good range of boons that it can apply, and it does really good damage, and it's also unkillable at the same time. So there's a lot of things going for it. And bear in mind, even now, we're just spamming out a bunch of lifesteal, so our allies are stealing a bunch of life. And you'd be surprised. Look, people often say not to run healers in open world, and generally speaking, that is true. Like, running a healer isn't very high value. You're better off playing like a boon DPS style build. But hybrid healers are good. Oh, we actually got the 3 gold roll too. See, look, the game rewarded us for playing a good build. What's really good is builds that do damage and heal. That's like the really strong thing. It's really good to be able to do that. And that is exactly what this build is capable of. I want to go do a strike mission while I wait for the other meta. Okay, we've got to do Bone Skinner, right? Let me see if there's anything on the raid LFG. It's probably a little bit late. For some reason, we're doing this at 2 a.m. I guess we'll just, okay, Bone Skinner. I'm almost tempted to try and solo heal it. I feel like I could. Because here's the thing about this build. This will actually heal. But yeah, this will heal. Oh, just think how, yeah, okay, yeah, let's play a bit healier. Let's play a bit healier just to be safe. So we'll drop a bit of DPS and we'll play Spirit's Gift just to heal even harder, because this will now heal a lot. Because bear in mind, guys, we are going to heal basically the same as a full heal Rit, right? Like, we don't have a heal rune and we don't have a heal relic. But in terms of our stats and trait lines and abilities even, we're going to be up there in terms of the healing output. All right, here we go, 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 here we go. All right. Okay, I've got my healometer up there as well. This is going to be very high tier, guys. All right. First things first, we do want to apply the boons, though. Like, the boons are going to be the big focus. Like, I mean, well, I can't save you from that. Okay, like, if you just stand in that, there's not much we can do about that. I don't want to tell you. We CC. We still want to use the action key, obviously. And now we heal. Now we crank. It's fine. Like, those people, they weren't going to make it. There's the block. Boom. Just got it in time. I mean, look. Everyone's alive. I told you. I told you guys. Look. Boom. Pumping. We have a little projectile block up as well. I don't think I can block this one, unfortunately, but it's fine. Just slam that healing. We can block this, though. Oh, I actually... That wasn't good. I used that I used it too soon, basically. Because the Aegis will just got eaten by some, like, random attack. Which is not really what we want. Okay, good. Just crank the heals. Crank the heals. Aegis there with the F4. And we can Aegis this again, too. There we are. And look, I think look, I'll tell you what, guys, we're out healing the heal mirage. Okay, like that is definitely happening. So that's what we've got. That's what we've got going for us. It's actually interesting because we're taking damage like in Shroud. We're actually kind of losing a little bit of life force. Like life force is actually a little bit of an issue, but not too bad. And there you go, 18k DPS while healing 4.5k a second. And it would have been more if this guy hadn't died instantly. Because like 2 of our players died to the first AoE. I mean, look, it's a Bone Skinner classic, guys. And yeah, finally, the oppressive power of Heal Mirage has been dethroned by this, I guess. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Look, I'm telling you guys, if you can out heal this, guys, we did 18k DPS there, right? While also healing and keeping the entire sub alive, and it wasn't even that difficult. See, that's actually pretty good. All right, watch the healing meter. People actually take damage here. This is going to be huge. All right, here we go. Prepare to witness. Prepare to witness greatness, guys. We're going to heal big. Big heals, big heals, big heals. And we're going to pump. Get the weapon skills going. And then back into Shroud. We're actually kind of pumping this boss, guys. Look at that. Ritualist top DPS and Ritualist doing 20k DPS as a healer. And we give quickness and also all the other boons. See, that is pretty good. Because bear in mind, guys, like a healer normally does what? Like 1 or 2k DPS? And we are just randomly dropping 20k nuclear DPS. See, this is what I'm talking about, though. And look, this is maybe not the best demonstration of it, but you kind of get the idea. We're doing 20k DPS, and we basically heal as much as a full heal build. And there you go. Well, I mean, that wasn't that good. But we need something where there's more damage. Golem with max. Actually, wait, yeah. Wait, let's go do that. Let's go do... Whoa, okay, we actually have to do it. It's actually time. I think that is the best demo. Guys, I need 3 more volunteers on the EU server to come and not die as I heal you on my Zealot Ritualist. Okay, spawn a golem, average size, crazy strong enemy, spawn the golem. And the arena console, adjust environment, toggle pulse, okay, extremely threatening. Okay, here we go, here we go. All right, okay, wait, we have to lock in for like 10 minutes, guys. We have to fully lock in here. All right, this is it. 3, 2, 1, go. We have to prot up. Pop the heal skill for the finish. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Oh, lines up at the end. There we go. Boom. That's what I'm talking about, guys. That is... Okay. Wait, hold on. We have to switch it. Cell says it's showing like the wrong one. That is 17.2k DPS. 12k healing per second. Sustained. Not burst, guys. Sustained. And it gives all of those boons. The only boons I gave to myself was a lack. Oh, and I guess we have swiftness as well, but who cares, right? All of the other boons, so all of the prot, the regen, the vigor, resolution, quickness, might, fury, right? All that stuff, All of that came from this build, and it does 17k DPS while healing, by the way. Okay, obviously, if you know, you're gonna do more damage than that if you have the ability to actually do a more aggressive rotation, but I had to play a lot more passively, right? In order to keep everyone alive. And you know what the funny thing is, we even have these are all light armor classes. So this was worst case scenario, because obviously this is an elementalist, this is an elementalist, they have light armor, they take more damage. If we had heavy armor classes, it would be easier to heal them because they have higher innate toughness, so they'd have more damage reduction. So this is basically worst case scenario, especially with like the low health pool elementalists. The Reaper, of course, is a bit more health, easier to keep alive, obviously. But yeah, that is big. That's actually pretty good. You honestly love to see that. And that's, you know, one player went down, but they went down because of a bug. So if you want to blame anyone for that down state, it's Trig's fault. It's not my fault for hitting auto attack a little bit too soon. It is in fact Trig's fault because the game is broken. Yeah, there you go. That's basically what I blame it on. But yeah, there you go. That's like an idea of, I guess, how to play the build in practice to an extent. That's an idea of how to get the job done. So that's the meme right there. We love to see that. I think this build is actually sick. One of the best carry builds that currently exists. Like, you are going to utterly dominate open world, strike mission content, like farm content. Hell, you could even play this in Fractals if you want. It actually has a decent toolkit for it with the stability on staff and, of course, on Innovate Preservation, right? And it's got some CC. You can block stuff. I mean, goodness me. The possibilities, guys, the possibilities are absolutely endless. And look, you don't even need swiftness, by the way, because while you have your Wanderlust up, you get 50% movement speed. So you're like zooming around all over the place. And I will tell you this. You should be warned, this will get nerfed a little bit in terms of the damage, because obviously Ritualist damage is OP, but even after it gets nerfed, you won't see that type of damage number. It will probably be a little bit lower. It will still be really good, so I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think this will still be really strong after changes end up going through. But yeah, really fun build, really cool idea, I think. Okay, we got there in the end. We defeated the 40 million golem with the Omega threatening AoE, did 17k DPS single target, and kept everyone alive while doing it. That is pretty cool. We love to see that. There you go. I mean, that's it. If you watch it, look, and you know what? I'm going to drop a bomb on the Twitch viewers. This was a YouTube video. That's right, guys. This is going on YouTube. And you had no idea you were participating in this. You guys were all YouTube video participators. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, say hi to Twitch chat. And definitely let me know if you guys enjoy playing this build. If you have any cool ideas, like what weapons do you like to use? Because like I said earlier, right? If you don't want to use the dagger sword, that's completely fine, right? Like you can go ahead and use a greatsword, a spear, right? There's a whole bunch of things. You could even use Warhorn in offhand, right? Like Warhorn in offhand would actually be rather nice because that's going to give you even that will give you swiftness access, right? It's like the only boon you don't give pretty much on this build is swiftness, but you can get it pretty easily if you pick up the Warhorn offhand, right? And that's even got a little bit of extra healing too. Surprisingly good, especially if you're in a multi-target situation. But anyway, let me know what you think. I am going to be releasing a lot more build style stuff as I play all of the new elite specs. This is one that really, really caught my eye as one of the builds I think is super fun. Stay tuned if it evolves because look, you know, this was kind of spawned from some theory crafting we did on stream and from the minds of Green Death and Grabber. So we might refine it a little bit more. Grabber has a slightly different stat approach, which is pretty interesting. And who knows, we might come up with some other stuff as well. And of course, we'll come up with forbidden builds for the Visions of Eternity expansion, which you can purchase using my referral link, guys, linked in the description. But yeah, stay tuned for more. Follow, subscribe, leave your comments, social media, watch the stream on YouTube, watch the stream on Twitch as well. because I will come up with more stuff like this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. You too can do 12,000 healing per second and 17k DPS at the same time while giving all of your boons. I mean, look, if this is not illegal, guys, I don't know what to tell you. This is one of the most illegal builds I have ever come across. Fireworks rune, Zealot stats, Mistburn relic, transference, force sigils. I mean, goodness me. I don't know what to tell you. This is illegal. This is completely illegal. But anyway, that'll do it. Yeah, I mean, what a cook. Right, what a cook indeed. But anyway, that'll do it for now. I'll see you guys next time.